We discovered that we observed strange pebbles based on data that has been analyzed over the past few months and returned from the rover. These are rocks that were created by volcanic activity. Strange discoveries from Mars include pyramid-shaped rocks, sharp-edged things that appear too perfect to be natural, and even shapes that resemble technology from other planets. There is a lot of conjecture surrounding these strange occurrences that rovers like Perseverance and Curiosity have noticed, but are they evidence of extraterrestrial life or are they simply the result of nature's processes? Are these Martian puzzles truly more complicated than we realize? The shiny rock is the top choice. The Perseverance rover on Mars noticed something in 2022. The rock appeared to be gleaming in the harsh Martian sun, yet it was neither a weird rock nor an odd extraterrestrial artifact. But this wasn't just any sparkling rock. Its reflecting surface was so out of the ordinary that people thought it might be a piece of spacecraft or perhaps alien technology. Now, let's dissect this before you get too enthusiastic. The way the granite surface reflected the sunlight made it appear different from the surrounding area. It seemed as though the rock was attempting to communicate something when the light struck it at a particular angle. Some thought it might be a component of some lost alien device or possibly man-made debris from the rover's landing. But wait. NASA stepped up right away to make things right. They clarified that what we were observing was a gleaming mineral found in the rock, not some extraterrestrial relic. The iron-rich makeup of the Jezero crater, which Perseverance is now exploring, is probably what generated this mineral. To put it another way, it is simply a natural feature of Mars. Many people are still intrigued by the possibility that this sparkling object could have been anything more. It's not your fault if folks become enthusiastic. Who wouldn't want to think that we're getting closer to finding evidence of extraterrestrial life, after all? Furthermore, the mystery surrounding these peculiar Martian pebbles further heightens interest in what else might exist, despite the fact that NASA's explanation makes sense. What is hidden on Mars, though, if this gleaming rock wasn't the significant discovery we were expecting for? Is there anything else hidden beneath the surface? Let's now discuss a metallic fragment discovered by Curiosity rover. Could it be something else's debris? Let's have a peek. The metallic fragment comes in at number 2. A tiny, sparkly fragment was found on the Martian dirt in a 2016 image taken by the Curiosity rover that had people wondering, what is that? It briefly appeared to be alien technology or even a piece of spacecraft debris. The fragment's sharp, angular edges only added to its dubious appearance, and its distinctive metallic sheen stood out against Mars' reddish plane. Imagine the excitement when people began to speculate as to whether this was something from another planet or perhaps the missing component of a previous Mars trip. There were a ton of theories on the internet. Some even speculated that it might be proof of technology from other planets. Who wouldn't want to believe that Mars might be concealing some secret alien technology? However, let's tone it down a bit before we all start planning vacations to Mars for treasure hunts. NASA swiftly jumped in and clarified that the enigmatic object was neither a spacecraft component nor alien technology. In the end, it proved to be a naturally occurring Martian mineral that has a metallic luster. Because of the special circumstances on Mars, this specific mineral can form sharp, angular bits. Therefore, even though it might have appeared strange at first, it wasn't really that unique. Nevertheless, doesn't it raise the question, maybe there are more things hidden beneath the surface of Mars if there is only one shiny object? There appeared to be more surprises in store, and what about the odd structures and forms that some rovers have noticed if this fragment isn't alien technology? Does Mars have any secret messages? Join us for the ride as we discuss a rock that closely resembles a fish in our upcoming section. Is it just another strange Martian shape, or might it be another clue? The shape of the alien fish is number 3. People were taken aback by a photograph taken by the Curiosity rover in 2015. It was neither a simple formation nor a rock. It had a very similar appearance. It looked like an extraterrestrial fish to some observers, or even some weird fossilized species from another planet. It had sharp symmetrical characteristics and an odd curving form. You couldn't help but wonder, is this a fish from Mars, or is it something else entirely? Now, the internet went crazy, as you could anticipate. It was thought that this might be the relic of an extinct Martian animal that used to swim in a long-gone Martian ocean. The creative juices were flowing freely. Why not on Mars, after all, since we can find strange rocks with animal-like features on Earth? It was seen by some as evidence that life had once flourished on the red planet. Then the professionals intervened. The rumors were dispelled by NASA. They verified that this enigmatic fish shape was merely a naturally occurring rock formation and not proof of extraterrestrial life. It resembled an old creature because of the remarkable symmetry formed by the rock's erosion over time. The boulders were shaped into something that deceived the sight by the combined action of wind and water. Even though we would really like it to be evidence of Martian life, it's only a rock, so it's not a big deal. However, the shape raises an important question: what else might be out there on Mars if this is just the start of strange shapes? This fish piques interest even though it wasn't what we were hoping for. But what about other odd configurations? Is it possible that there are still surprises in store? Speaking of surprises, let's examine the enigmatic entryway that Curiosity managed to catch. Does it suggest something more, or is it just a rock? The fourth is the illusion of the Mars doorway. There were wild rumors of a doorway on Mars after the Curiosity rover sent an image in May 2022 that went viral. In Gale Crater, the image displayed a dark aperture in the side of a cliff that resembles a doorway, complete with straight corners. Naturally, the internet wasted no time in drawing judgments. Is this the entryway to an old Martian building? Perhaps even the remnants of a vanished society? It was too thrilling to overlook the possibility of an alien portal. Some speculated that it could be proof that sentient life had once flourished on the red planet, or even a doorway to a secret Martian city. It resembled something from a science fiction film. NASA swiftly intervened with an explanation, despite the theory's allure. It turns out that this doorway is really an illusion brought about by the natural shapes of the Martian geology in that region, as well as the angles of light and shadow. In Gale Crater, where the rocks and sunlight align to create the illusion of an entry, the doorway is nothing more than a shadow play. This one immediately fell apart for those of us who were expecting for a Martian mystery. Looking at the entire picture from a broader angle, however, reveals that what might have been a doorway is actually just another peculiarity in the Martian environment. However, it raises the question of how many other optical illusions might exist on Mars, waiting to trick us into believing we've found something remarkable, such as a pyramid. The pyramid structure is number 5. The Curiosity rover attracted our attention in 2014 with a discovery that soon became one of the most talked about aspects of Mars. It appeared to be a pyramid rather than a rock or perhaps another hill. A pyramid, you heard correctly. Its nearly perfect triangular shape and sharp angles gave the impression that it had been purposefully built, resembling a monument left by an old Martian civilization. Naturally, there were a ton of theories after the picture was posted online. People made snap judgments right away. They began to speculate that it might represent evidence of sentient life on Mars. Some people hypothesized that this was the ruins of a long-gone civilization or city. There was a lot of enthusiasm on the internet as people imagined a Martian replica of the Great Pyramid of Giza. However, NASA shut them down as soon as the theory emerged. Scientists verified that this pyramid was a naturally occurring rock feature rather than some forgotten artifact. Its sharp edges and geometric shape are the result of the rock being worn down over millions of years by Mars' harsh weather, which included erosion and strong winds. It's the ideal illustration of how nature can occasionally astound us with forms that appear almost too ideal to be coincidental. Nevertheless, it raises the question of whether this pyramid is merely another product of erosion. What else might Mars's dusty exterior conceal? Are there any other structures that appear too flawless to be rocks? Let's move on to another genuinely strange finding, a rock that some people believe to be a face. Could it simply be a trick of the light, or is there more to it? Mother-of-pearl clouds is number 6. Something quite captivating was caught by NASA's Curiosity rover in March 2021, shimmering clouds of pastel colors drifting far above the Martian terrain. These clouds, which are uncommon on Mars and are known as mother-of-pearl clouds because of their glistening pearl-like luster, have astounded both scientists and space enthusiasts. What's so unique about these clouds? The shimmer of these Martian clouds is different from that of clouds on Earth. According to Mark Lemon, an atmospheric scientist at the Space Science Institute in Colorado, the reason the colors in the clouds appear is because the particles within them are nearly the same size. The light scatters as a result, creating those lovely pastel colors. This typically occurs when the clouds have recently formed and are growing at the same pace, Lemon said. However, everyone was drawn to more than simply the cloud splendor. The fact that we hardly ever see anything like this on Mars is another factor. Mars doesn't seem like the kind of planet where colorful clouds would grow because of its thin atmosphere and cold, dry climate. However, these mother-of-pearl clouds serve as a reminder that nature may still surprise us, even on arid planets like Mars. Is there anything more that these clouds could mean? Could they be a component of a more extensive atmospheric phenomenon that we have yet to comprehend? Even though NASA has stated that they are merely a natural phenomenon, it nevertheless raises the question of what other bizarre yet stunning marvels might be found in the Martian sky. Mars blueberries are number 7. Little round BB-sized pebbles that NASA's Opportunity rover discovered on the surface of Mars in 2004 were dubbed blueberries. No, these hematite-rich spheres aren't the kind of blueberries you can eat, but they created quite a stir when they were discovered close to the Fram crater. They would initially appear as tiny fruits strewn throughout the Martian soil, giving the surface an incredibly familiar yet bizarre look. Despite their adorable appearance, these blueberries are actually mineral formations, primarily composed of the iron oxide hematite. Scientists questioned if water originally flowed across the Martian surface, generating the perfect environment for the formation of these tiny spheres, because they occur under specific wet conditions. Excitation was generated by the discovery since it suggested that liquid water, a necessary component of life as we know it, may have once existed on Mars in the planet's remote past. These blueberries were a crucial component in the puzzle of comprehending the ancient environment of Mars, even though they did not provide a direct link to extraterrestrial life. The finding of these tiny hematite spheres paved the path for many more intriguing discoveries, but no, you won't be picking fresh fruit on Mars very soon. Was it possible that Mars was once habitable? Under its dusty exterior, what other surprises lie ahead? Noodles come in at number 8. An image of an odd twisted item on the surface of Mars was taken by NASA's Perseverance rover in July 2022, and it immediately aroused wild speculation. People made snap judgments since it initially appeared to be a mound of noodles or even some sort of string. The internet was quick to speculate, is this a mysterious piece of technology left over from a long-gone Martian civilization, or is it some sort of alien artifact? There appeared to be no limit to the wild theories. The shape of the thing was definitely strange, almost too intentional to be real. People pondered whether it was a piece of alien technology or perhaps a relic from an earlier Martian civilization. Without a certain, it had the atmosphere you would anticipate from a science fiction film. Even though these concepts were cool, NASA quickly clarified them. The rover team examined the object closely and determined that it was probably just some netting, maybe remnants of Perseverance's own landing, descent, and entrance system. The EDL mechanism successfully transported the rover to the Martian surface when it landed on the planet in February 2021, but it crashed a short distance away. The wreckage appears to have been blasted from the crash site and dispersed throughout Jezero crater by Mars's notoriously powerful winds. The odd sight nonetheless made many wonder, even if it's not a piece of old alien technology. What other strange secrets could Mars' dusty exterior conceal? Mars seems to have a limitless capacity to pique our curiosity. Is Mars simply deceiving us with its strange windswept surface, or are there more strange things about it than first glances suggest? The formation is number 9. The Perseverance rover photographed a really perplexing scene on Mars in 2021. What seemed like a structure made of glass. The photograph immediately raised questions about whether it was alien material or even a vestige of an ancient Martian civilization that had been preserved for millions of years. It revealed something that appeared almost translucent, like clear glass. The creation was a striking contrast to the stony Martian terrain. There were a lot of crazy speculations because of its glassy, glittering appearance, which was different from anything else. Others questioned if it was an artifact from a long-gone Martian metropolis or a piece of alien technology. It appeared too flawless and enigmatic to be merely another rock. The conjecture seemed unending. Could this be evidence that something or someone used to be here? However, NASA intervened once more to provide an explanation before the frenzy could get out of control. The formation was most likely a glass-like mineral formed by the extreme heat and volcanic activity of Mars' distant past, according to additional research. Conditions hot enough to melt local minerals into glass had been produced throughout time by meteorite impacts and volcanic eruptions. Therefore, even though it appeared to be something from a science fiction film, it was only a natural process in action. Although it's intriguing to consider how heat and fire would have sculpted these odd structures, who can predict what further surprises Mars may have in store given the odd shapes we've already seen? Are there other glass-like formations out there just waiting to be found? Let's then discuss the most startling of all, things that sparked intense conjecture. The wreckage is the 10th item. The Perseverance rover returned with a photograph in 2021 that stoked conspiracy theorists' imaginations once more. It wasn't simply a strange rock this time, but a sharp-edged, angular object in a geometric shape that didn't exactly like the usual Martian landscape. It seemed to many viewers like spaceship wreckage, perhaps from a previous mission or perhaps an alien craft that had fallen on Mars. Against the surrounding Martian rocks, the item was a striking sight. People quickly began to speculate if this might be a piece of a spaceship because of how out of place its pristine lines and sharp, defined angles were. Or is it something far older, like an alien craft that crashed long before we even got to Mars, or could it be wreckage from one of our previous journeys there? The internet was ablaze with conjecture, and the hypotheses spread quickly. NASA, however, provided a more realistic answer as usual. Following a thorough examination, researchers determined that this sharp object was simply another naturally occurring rock structure. Due to weathering and erosion over millions of years, Mars is home to many unusual and distinctive rock formations. The sharp geometric look of the object was strange, but it was nature's way of doing its thing and not proof of a crash site. Still, one can't help but wonder, could there truly be anything else out there, concealed in plain sight, given all the odd structures we've seen on Mars? Perhaps Mars is revealing more to us than we think. Speaking of unsolved riddles, let's conclude by going over one of the most puzzling items we've seen, a face-like object. Is Mars attempting to communicate with us, or is it just a trick of the light? Although none of these Martian artifacts have been shown to represent signs of extraterrestrial life, they certainly pique interest in what might be on Mars. What are your thoughts? Are they merely naturally occurring rock formations or are they evidence of ancient life? Tell us in the comments section. Please press the bell for more space discoveries, like, and subscribe if you liked this video.